it has become very clear that video game journalists actually hate this industry and the people within it. They don't have any respect for gamers, and they constantly try to attack us and belittle us based on games that we like or games that we dislike. And of course, Kotaku is jumping into the discussion of Stellar Blade by trying to say only Gooners like this based off of cherry picking a few reviews on Steam. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, yes, there are some people who are only really enjoying Stellar Blade because of how sexualized some of the characters are, because they're enjoying their modding experience, they're NSFWing up Eve, and that's not a problem. You are an adult who can download and consume adult content, and that really shouldn't be a problem, but of course it is to these people who are massive hypocrites because they will praise sex in games like Baldur's Gate 3 when you're doing it with a bear, and they will praise the latest game, Date Everything, where you can romance up refrigerators and microwaves and tables and chairs, but you're not allowed to like Stellar Blade because it has sexy ladies in it. And instead of just saying, hey, this is a genuinely good game that has a lot to offer, they just want to present it as it's really just a game that people want to jerk it to, which is absurd. It is a fantastic experience. So it says Stellar Blade is a mashup of classic arcade action and modern Souls-like about a defensive force officer with big tits and an even bigger ass saving the post-apocalyptic ruins of Earth from the aliens who destroyed it. Paradise Lost, not for the Gooners or for general fans of fun combat in cool sci-fi settings held together by sensibilities of an old school PlayStation 2 game. Now, this title has so much more to offer. Is it the best story I've ever experienced? No, but it's still pretty good. You just have to pay attention. It's like with the Souls games. There is so much lore and the world is so alive and rich, but you have to actually pay attention. You have to be reading the little bits of lore on certain items and really piecing together the story that the characters tell you. I know that the journalists would actually have to play video games in order to get the full experience, but for the people who are willing to put in the time and not just write it off as a Gooner game, yeah, there is a full and really good experience here. It's got some amazing combat. The PC version is so well optimized, it's actually kind of crazy. The characters are really great, and yeah, the story's a little bit predictable at times, but it's still enjoyable. It says the 2024 PS5 exclusive recently came to PC, where it sold over 1 million new copies in just 3 days, making it one of the most successful PlayStation ports ever. Congratulations to them, they really do deserve it. The South Korean developer Shift Up is already working on a sequel that will, according to its director, feature an improved story with a more serious tone, but in the meantime, everyone who worked on Stellar Blade just got a Switch 2, which the game is also rumored to be getting ported to in the near future. I do think that that is really cool. I'm curious to see how it will run on the Switch 2, but I would assume it would run pretty well. How are the PC players receiving the current entry? Steam reviews so far are glowing with a rating of over 94% positive amongst the nearly 20,000 currently posted. In addition to widescreen support and uncapped frame rates, new DLC was also released alongside the port's arrival. A fresh patch this week fixed some bugs, including one that was impacting keyboard use, while modders are already throwing caution to the wind. Oh, here we go. One that makes protagonist Eve nude is currently under moderation at Nexus Mods. I'm shocked. Stellar Blade's director recently suggested he has no issues with fans modding the game however they please, but most of the mods are just about improving PC performance and tweaking gameplay. There are so many absolutely phenomenal mods out there that have to do with, yeah, improving your experience technically, fixing, gameplay and tweaking the performance. Like, I personally only downloaded some costume mods, but there are a lot already for you to download on platforms like Ayaka mods, DEG mods, based mods. I recommend you stay away from Nexus because they are very censorship heavy, and I personally do not support them anymore. And I don't think that if you are really looking for mods, you have to go to Nexus anymore. There are a lot of different alternatives now, of course, though. To each their own. Maybe you still like and support the platform. Totally understandable. It says, though, one of the most popular lengthens the timing window for perfect parries. And here's what Steam reviewers are saying about the rest of the game. And of course, they really just decide to talk about the gooners. I mean, the first one they recommend instantly has that word in it. It's very obvious what they were trying to do. It's very obvious that Ethan Gotch was just trying to, of course, portray gamers as like sex addicts here. Came for the gooner reasons, stayed for the gamer reasons. It felt like Bayonetta again, where it seems like at first they're just trying to sell sexuality, but you end up getting an extremely solid game with the deal. The story, world, and characters are all really cool at a surface level, but also feel like they have much more to give. I wouldn't say they leave much to be desired so much as I simply desire more of them. So it is a positive review, but on the flip side, it's one that paints a very clear picture about the people who are buying this game. The best part, without a doubt, is the music. Really enjoyed the game, especially the combat system. The gameplay feels smooth, fun, and rewarding. The story is decent, not amazing, but still enjoyable and plays an important role in the overall experience. They talk about the soundtrack, which of course I do completely agree with. I think that the soundtrack is phenomenal. And it says also you don't need to be a gooner to enjoy this game. There's so much more to appreciate. From the gameplay and world design to the emotional beats and visuals, it's way more than just how the character looks and the outfit. Even though this game is total booty bait, it's actually really well made. It has the satisfying parry mechanics from Sekiro and the stylish combat from the DMC series. The music is super duper mega pooper wow. Overall, it's a fantastic Souls-like / open world DMC. While it's not as precise as Sekiro or unique as Nier, Stellar Blade hits. I didn't really play Stellar Blade, I was defiled by it. You bought this game because you are cripplingly addicted to Souls-like games. I bought this because I was horny. We are not the same. And sure, some of these are jokes, and I do find some of them funny, but at the same time, you could have written an article just completely ignoring like reviews that use the word gooner, or maybe not picked the ones that basically say, oh, I'm just horny and it's the only reason why I purchased it. They just wanted to portray a certain picture, which is of course a shame because yeah, again, there are people who are buying it and supporting it because they want to support games with sexy female characters in them, but Kotaku always has some sort of narrative that they are trying to push, and there are many outlets that are doing this right now. Of course, I did highlight in another video the PC gamer hypocrisy, where they gave Stellar Blade a 68, which by the way, that means that they had officially rated Dragon Age of Veilguard higher than Stellar Blade, which is crazy. But they talk about the over-sexualization of characters like Eve, and the opening hours are atrocious. But they can only assume people are willingly plowing through for the sake of seeing protagonist's Eve's bum jiggle around in a skin-tight suit for a bit longer, so sexualization bad in that case. But the same exact person had written an article praising the recently released Date Everything, saying it turns everyday household objects into gorgeous love interests, and now I can't look at my refrigerator the same way. And hey, I think if you really want to play Date Everything because you think it seems like a fun experience, like go for it. I'm not here to police the content that people are playing. My problem is the sheer fucking hypocrisy. Oh, in one case, sexy is bad, but in another case, sexy is good because it's a game that pushes the narratives that you personally support, because there are things like LGBTQ plus IAWYZ romances in this. So that's why you support it. That's why you're praising it, because the people behind it wanted to push a certain narrative that you personally agree with. I like Stellar Blade because it's a really fun game, and I do think that the characters are attractive. I love playing dress up with Eve, and I just think all around the soundtrack is phenomenal. Most of the level design's pretty good. It's a really cool game, and I'm not just praising it because I'm a gooner. Now, of course, it is an added bonus that journalists are so upset over this, but their hypocrisy is off the goddamn charts. And now, of course, we have the Stellar Blade article releasing from Kotaku, where they're basically saying that, oh, the Steam reviews are just painting it as a maximum horny game, when really that's just not the case. And they cherry-picked a few examples to push the fact that, oh, guys, this is a game being purchased by gooners. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.